Faded, the sports podcast that you didn't know you needed. Our views and opinions may be a little unconventional. The host may be a little high and maybe a little tipsy. The following opinions and views have nothing to do with the 989 Network or its affiliates. Other than that, sit back, grab a drink, roll up a fatty, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Cross-Faded Sports. It's your boys back in action today. Connor the Condor, Bucket Hat Zach, Banny with the Fanny, and we're going to be going through some rankings here, and we got some Vegas odds for over and under, whether or not certain teams, based upon all of their aggregated data with the strength of schedule for each individual team. Vegas has their over and odds predictions for betting, and right now, as we are recording, 1 week before the schedule release, the San Francisco 49ers are at the top of the list for the easiest schedule, and Vegas has them at over under 10.5 wins, gentlemen. Now, we know they have had quite a bit of losses and stuff in this offseason. They still got to pay Brock Purdy. They lost Debo. Do we think they're getting at 10.5 wins in that NFC West division?
You know, it's tough to say depending on if their offense can stay healthy or not. I mean, if Brock Purdy and their key players on offense can stay healthy, yes, I think they can get those 10 wins, especially with their schedule being as easy as it is. But, you know, injury always comes with those 49ers. And if that happens, you know, week 2 or 3 into the season, then I see them only getting maybe 7-8 wins at most.
Just too many losses. I mean, how many of their key players throughout the years are now on other teams? I mean, Debo Samuel to the Commanders, Dre Greenlaw to the Broncos. That's like 2 of their star players for the past few years, and I kind of see that division getting weaker, and the Rams kind of have what looks to be a key hold on that division now, where it's going to be kind of maybe Arizona is the team putting up the fight, and we're seeing something different out of San Francisco and Seattle than we have the few past plenty of years. So I'm going under on that win total.
I agree. I think I hope that Brock Purdy is worth $50 million. I wonder if that deal will get done or when that deal is going to get done, what he's going to end up getting. However, the Rams are the best team in that division. Stafford is by far the best quarterback. Kyler Murray is
I'm Kyle.
is good when he's healthy, and I think we're going to see a big jump out of the Cardinals and the offense with him and Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. has just scratched the surface of what his NFL career is going to be, and if he can take a step up, Kyler Murray will take a step up. And then I think that I agree, the 49ers are old. They are not the 49ers of 2020 when they were really like, you felt like they had all that superstar power and they were young. Now those guys are old, and it's not the same team anymore.
No, and it's not. And kind of on your point of, you know, hopefully Purdy's worth that much, I get what you're saying, but also, I mean, money's nothing to them, but it is in a way, obviously. That dude is worth it just from how little he was getting paid when they were really good. You know, the past, 2-3 years ago when they were a standout, amazing team when they beat the Lions. I mean, Purdy showing out, he would get paid jack shit as to where, I mean, I love seeing him get paid that much, but I don't see him making that worth it.
Yeah,
for the team.
And we might get proven wrong. I just think that there was that small window. They always talk about that window with that rookie quarterback contract. much like what CJ Stroud has with the Houston Texans right now.
Yep. And
the ability to sign some extra pieces before that quarterback contract goes up to take 25% of the cap space. I think that's like the league average is like 25 to 27% of the cap. So that is gone now. And they were already cutting it close with all the big deals that they signed with different players like Trent Williams and Nick Bosa and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Kind of put themselves in a hole.
And you know, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but the New England Patriots have the second easiest schedule, and I think they're going to be a much better team this year. They're only projected to have 7.5 wins. I'll go first. I think they're going to do better than that. I think they're going to at least get 8 wins. I'm not saying they're going to shatter it or make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be a much better team this year all the way around than they were last year.
They're a pretty young team, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do terrible last year, but I mean, give them another year or two or this year, and they could definitely get 7 games, I think, under their belt in the win category. I could see that.
What are you thinking, Zach? Over under 7.5 wins for the Patriots.
See, I like the way this organization's been building back with Mike Vrabel. It's kind of like an extreme Bill Belichick move there out of the Patriots to kind of sign this guy that it's clear and obvious through their first draft. His approach is the trenches. It's it's kind of like a Dan Campbell-esque draft that they had that first year. They wanted to really lock down the trenches. I think we'll see a spin back from the Patriots. Don't get me wrong, they're not going to be winning their division, but I think odds are that they could be better than both the Dolphins and the Jets and have a higher win total. So I will go over with them.
Yeah, I think they're going to be much better. The Mike Vrabel effect is going to be real, and Drake May is a guy, I think. Crazy how good the quarterbacks really were last year. Jaden Daniels obviously being at the top of that class. Well, let's go down the list here. We're not going to do every single team. That'll take way too much time here, but we'll list them up as we're going down the list here for easiest schedules. New Orleans Saints is the third easiest schedule, and they fucking need that because they don't have any cap room or a starting quarterback right now. Potentially Tyler Shuck might be their starting quarterback. They're only projected to get 6.5 wins. Falcons at 7.5. That division's wide open. The Buccaneers, I feel like I've got that division on lock.
Yes, yep.
They're going to probably be an easy 10-win team and be a division winner with just 10 wins, and just like they were last year. Buffalo Bills are at 11.5 wins. I feel like they could easily get that or more. I could see them being like us this past season, being like a 14-2 team, and then getting bounced out in the first round of the playoffs.
What was their record last year?
They finished last year. I have it right here. Give me 1 second. Buffalo Bills were 13-4 last year.
Okay.
Hey, keep going down. So the Bills are the 5th easiest schedule too. That just sucks, man.
Yeah, they definitely get.
We got a long time before we get to the Detroit Lions too. Jacksonville Jaguars at 7.5 wins. We'll stop here. Carolina Panthers 6.5 wins. You guys think they're gonna do over or under that? And I liked what we got to see out of. I won't want to keep wanting to see Breece Hall, but that's Bryce Young. He did much better after a little bit of benching and a little time, and come back, played better. I would like to see him take another step this year. I think they could get more than 6.5 wins.
He's a smart QB. He just needs a year or two under his belt, and yeah, he should shine. He should be good this year. I think they will have a lot better year and have a lot bigger of a threat on offense than they ever did last year.
And I like their draft, adding a wide receiver pretty early that they felt confident on. They kind of passed a few receivers that everyone was expecting to go above with I cannot pronounce his name, but Tetris McKillen is what I'm going to call him, because that's what but Tetris, that's his nickname, because that's the only thing I can pronounce. Yep.
Well, I mean, it's not like we can pronounce anything Xavier Legette can fucking say. So
exactly. But giving Bryce Young more weapons, and they must have really loved this guy. So we'll see what's coming out of there. You could tell there was development out of Bryce Young last year, especially after the benching incident. So.
Low-key, though, what a cheat code Fucking Adam Thielen said on a podcast that he translates for Xavier Legette. And if you guys don't know, this dude is speaking super Southern Creole, like crazy, you know, talking with all saying like no spaces, you know, typing a message with no spaces when he talks. And then their wide receiver coach looks at Adam Thielen, the whitest dude on the planet who doesn't like speak like that. And he's like, oh, well, this is what he said. He might not even have the right answer to the question. Adam Thielen just answers for him. Like, that's cheating.
That's a smart motherfucker right there.
Listening to him at the Kentucky Derby was dope. If you guys haven't seen any of that, check out some of his videos from that. But all right, well, we'll keep moving down here. We got the Tennessee Titans at 5.5 wins. We got Miami Dolphins at 8.5, Buccaneers at 9.5. I feel like they're going to go over that personally.
They're getting 11, if not 12 this year.
And since we had the 49ers that we talked about, the Arizona Cardinals are at 8.5 here. The 49ers are at 10.5. So like pretty close in that division with those win totals there. What are you guys thinking about the Arizona Cardinals and the Kyler Murray effect?
I mean, I'm a big James Conner fan.
I'll be on that over.
I'm on that over too. That team, it's taken that team a while to figure out and click. I think last year at the end of the season, they were finally figuring it out. And I hope that continues into the season. And I could see them winning 10 games, 9 games.
And Kyler Murray was hurt to start the season last year, right? He was still recovering from like a torn ACL or something like that from last season. Non-contact. If I remember, he fell down right on the sideline when he was going to run. Yeah. So he didn't even get to play the first few. And then it wasn't until was that the really long scramble drill play last year where he ran like back across for the field for like 4 minutes and they're like, oh, Kyler Murray is back now. Right? So I'm a Kyler Murray fan. I like watching his little legs move.
I was about to say, I love watching that little toddler legs move.
And I could easily see them at least trying to push the Rams for the division lead, especially I think we all want to see Christian McCaffrey back, but I could see him, you know, potentially retiring. That would suck. Like,
it would, but
if he retires, I don't see that 49ers team being, you know, the powerhouse that it was.
Yeah, oh no, not at all.
Indianapolis Colts at 7.5 wins. I'm not sure if they're going to get there.
Under.
I think I'm under too with that.
It's going to be
6 wins.
It's sadly going to be a QB battle all year between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
They're both probably going to play, and they're both going to get benched. I could see that.
Multiple times. I bet you at least twice each. I am willing to put money on that.
An average of
FanDuel.
3.5
Let me
to
do
4
that.
picks a game.
Seattle Seahawks at 7.5 wins. I could see that being under. I think Sam Darnold is definitely going to regress without being in Minnesota.
Yep, I agree with that. You're a big Sam Darnold fan too, I feel like, but I don't see him.
Can he hold off Jaden Milroe?
I think he can at least do that. I think he can do that for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They'll probably give him some sort of package. So it would be cool to see him out there and run the football. He's so fast. We'll kind of slide down here. Okay, so we got the Rams at 9.5 wins.
We got the Whams at 9.5 wins.
But the Washington Commanders are right above them with the 19th easiest schedule at 9.5. Do they take over and win that division and dominate this year? Can they beat the Eagles?
I would, as supportive of Jaden Daniels as I've been, they won how many games last year by one score? That was almost like
I think
6 of their games.
4, if not 5, at least.
At least it was a good amount of them. And how many of those were in the last 30 seconds to replicate that kind of,
I think they had won 5 or 6 games with a total of 17 points, in difference in scores in those 4 or 5 games. It was all by 3 points, or 7.
And the only other team in the NFL to go for it more on 4th down than the Detroit Lions, the Washington Commanders.
So, I don't think it holds up for them, but I still think they're going to be, I think they'll get over by half a point, maybe 1.5 wins there.
I mean, I think because they could easily get 2 wins against the Giants and 2 wins against the Cowboys, that already puts them at 4. So I feel like they are easily going to get at least 10 wins and be definitely a playoff team. It'd be wild to see if like the NFC is just monstrous this year and pulls off some upsets against the AFC and we have like a crazy amount of 10-win teams.
Yeah.
It could happen, but we'll see. We'll keep rolling. Baltimore Ravens, fuck them. They're at the 21st ranked easiest schedule, 11.5 wins. I don't feel like if the Steelers don't have a quarterback, and the Bengals, I feel like they paid their players, but I don't know, man. There's only
They still haven't played their defensive players. They have not played their defensive players.
I would be scared. Like, I don't know, and I know like you got to pay people, but man, if Jamar Chase deserved all that money, but if he gets hurt or if Burrow gets hurt. And then Trey Hendrickson holds out, which he doesn't seem like a type of guy that would hold out, but I mean, it could happen.
You never know. Yeah.
I would be wild. I would be scared as a Bengals fan right now. I would.
Oh yeah.
We'll keep sliding down here. Now we're starting to get to the nitty gritty here. We got all of our. We haven't talked about one NFC North team because the NFC North combined has the hardest schedule of any division, mostly because they're going off of our win-loss totals from last year, and the NFC North had the best win-loss totals, so that plays a little bit of a factor. We might not be as strong with our strengths, our win-loss record this year. Who knows? But we'll slide down here. Green Bay Packers are at 23, 9.5 wins for the Packers.
I mean, I said it before we started recording, but I'm taking the over on all the NFC by at least half a point. It's the NFC North is going to be another strong powerhouse division again this year. And as we have said, quite possibly could have 4 teams in the playoffs.
That would be, well, I mean, it'll still be rough for us competing against them, but I think Jordan Love, it's crazy that we can say this, but I think it might be fair to say that besides Josh Allen and like Stafford, I mean, Josh Allen's a little bit younger, but like in like Rodgers, Jordan Love seems to have like one of the most gifted arms. You know, he can run and he throws off his back foot kind of like Rodgers did back when he was younger. You know what I mean? That kid's got a fucking can of an arm, and he just got a 4.24 speed 40 guy or a 4.33. I can't remember, whatever. Fucking Matthew Golden. So I think they're at least a 10-win team at minimum.
I mean, yeah, I'm putting them at probably 11 wins with that, and with what you said, having him being able to scramble and just be so talented and smooth with his on-the-run throws, he's either going to break it up for 15, 20 yards or have homeboy 50, 60 yards down the field beating someone for a TD right quick.
There was a cool way to they announced that big, since that was the first wide receiver they drafted in the first round since I can't remember what it was,
2002.
like 2002.
Damn.
Thank you. That was a pretty cool way.
Wow.
The Packers fans lost it. All right, we'll keep rolling here. We'll go to the next NFC North team. Chicago Bears at 8.5.
Fuck the Bears.
I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win maybe 8 games. I'm not sure I'm taking the over on this one.
I'm going to stick with the over, but it's 9.
I'm going with...
They're going to be the 9-8 team out of the NFC North that still makes the playoffs.
I could totally see that happening. I definitely can.
They win in 8 at most.
They're going to be the 9-8 team beating the Buccaneers out to make the playoffs because the Falcons went in as a 10-7 team.
Well, we'll move down. The Kansas City Chiefs are at 11.5, right below the Bears with the 27th ranked easiest schedule. So we're starting to get down to the bottom. Minnesota Vikings are at 28. JJ McCarthy era has started with Sam Howell sitting in the wings if he falls on his face. Are they going to get more than 8.5 wins? I honestly feel like the Vikings are a 10-win team. I think that's pretty easy for me. I think they got better on defense. They got a little bit younger. TJ Hawkinson's got a full year now back from his torn ACL. He's going to be rolling. JJ McCarthy hurt himself last preseason, so he's already going to be at over a full year of recovery, so it's not like he got hurt late in the season. I'm not expecting JJ McCarthy to throw for 4,000 yards and have 30 touchdowns, but if he throws for 2,500 yards, rushes for like 700, and has like 28 touchdowns total, that would be a very viable number, I feel like.
I just see him throwing picks for some reason.
He does throw some picks. He has been known to throw some picks.
Yeah, I just see him getting picked off
The shit
3
part
times a game.
has Kevin O'Connell fucked up with the QB yet?
Not really. I mean, he took Sam Darnold into a new contract.
Who's that bald guy or bald?
The rocket scientist?
Yeah,
I know. I was just gonna drop his name, and now I'm
Josh, right?
Yeah.
Because he went to the Cardinals, then he went
Oh man.
down. No, that's the receiver.
Dobbs.
There you go.
I was like, it starts with a D. Yeah,
We did it. I was gonna try.
The rocket
I was going to say
scientist.
Downs, but that was the receiver for Indianapolis.
Yep.
No, that's what you have.
Down syndrome.
Canceled immediately. All right. Philadelphia Eagles, with at least they have a hard schedule. They're 29,
Special teams, special plays, special players.
but they're in probably the weakest division. So they're at 11.5 wins. I think that's very doable for them. And we'll get down to the last 3 here before we get to our precious Detroit Lions with the third hardest schedule. We have the New York Giants. I feel so bad for them as the first hardest schedule, and that team isn't going to be very good. I feel bad for them. Their over-under is at 5.5 wins. It was at 4.5, and then they signed Russell Wilson, and it moved up to 5.5. And I'm like, I don't think Russell Wilson's even going to get them that extra win. They're probably going to go under. The
4
Browns,
wins.
5.5 wins as well. I don't think that they get there either. I feel like they're going to be picking high again in the draft as well. And then the Detroit Lions at 10.5 wins.
Fuck that. 13, baby.
13? Well,
13.
remember that because we're going to go through the away games and home games now in honor of the schedule release coming out here in 7 days. So remember that. What are you thinking?
I'm saying 12.
That's what I was doing is 12. I really wanted to ride with you there, Connor, for that 13. I really wanted to, but I'm going to stick with 12.
Yeah, I'm sad with you.
But last year we did this gimmick, we did this game, and we were sitting here, we were like, we're riding 13-4. We were back and forth. A couple times we said 14-3, and a few times 12-5. And
Yeah, I don't think we picked anything less than 12 wins, but we definitely didn't pick anything more than 14.
and it was very rare we picked 14. And we were always, last year there was a few times that it was always, we have a very hard schedule this year.
Now we have.
Last year, apparently, we had a very hard schedule. Very hard. And we somehow still, with the most injuries in the league, probably in history, pulled out 15 wins with a very hard schedule.
See, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards 13.
That's why I am too. Because when we're coming into it, we are coming back. And if you're going to tell me we're going to have the same injury bug as last year, like, that just doesn't happen.
No.
Something changes. Something gets looked at. Like, the organization is going to make a change that is going to result in us either being healthier
Fuck that
or
trainer. No, I'm just kidding.
it's a complete different thing, So with going into this hard schedule, with our roster coming back, hopefully really healthy, coming back strong, I think we're looking at, a better season than we're predicting. And I think we're going to, I really think we could be at 13 wins, but I'm going to stick with 12 for now.
Yeah.
With the lack of a D end.
Sign
Zadarius Smith, and I'll go to 14. I will suck it right now.
If we sign Zadarius Smith, I would definitely put my hand. If there's 2 things. One, I would love Zadarius Smith, and
I will go to 14, and I will not move for the
knowing
rest of the year.
The Aylin McNeil is a huge part, of what.
Not with that first round pick.
But yeah, so we'll see here. I'm a lot lower than you guys because we have a hard fucking schedule, and all of our away games are rough. And I'm okay with 10 or 11 wins. I think there's a solid chance that even a healthy Detroit Lions team, when we go through this
How
gauntlet,
fucking dare you? God damn it! How
I'm just
dare you
trying to
down
be
the
reasonable.
fucking
Who
invited
Lions?
you?
I know.
Who invited this guy?
But we'll go through it real quick.
I mean,
here.
all right. You know what? 11 wouldn't be bad, but 10.
We'll start with
10.
we'll start with the home games, because when we go through the road games, you guys are gonna be fucking questioning yourselves again. All right, 'cause it's gonna be rough. So we'll start with our, we got our Packers, our Vikings, and our Bears, and our division opponents for the first
Bears.
three at home. As we're going through the list here,
Fuck you, Ben Johnson.
I think we can easily win all
dub,
three of
dub,
these games.
all day.
I think, and honestly, I kind of feel like we need to win all of these 3 games at home to get into the playoffs. So I'm sitting at 3 wins to start.
Yep, same here. Blends in. Does look at it.
All right. So I have one key factor on the home games. As we know, odds are one of these 3 divisional home games is going to be the Thanksgiving game. If the Packers somehow end up being that game, which Lee just had like a 33 or probably like 25% chance when the odds come down to it, because they're like probably a 75% chance of being our Thanksgiving game, that if the Packers, I don't know, the Packers on Thanksgiving scares me at home. That's the only divisional game I'm kind of worried about, I will say.
Wait, we won last year, right?
Against the Bears at home.
Wasn't that like one of the first games we've won on Thanksgiving?
It was the first
So
time we
long.
won in so long. Yeah.
so long.
I was at the game, and honestly, we were sitting there, and my brother-in-law is a big Bears fan from Chicago, and I thought Caleb Williams, that's when he screwed up and
Yeah,
didn't call the
that game was-
timeout.
That was the
and they,
timeout debacle.
Yeah.
And like we were like, did they just blow it? Because they could have
coulda-
won.
yeah, they could have
They
won.
could have won for sure. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to see Jordan Love on Thanksgiving there. It could easily be a division opponent. We could, even we has happened before. We could even play the Cowboys. I would rather see that. But
Yep.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with 3 wins. I think we need those 3 wins in our division at home because of the schedule being so rough.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna have to go 2 out of 3 then.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
All right.
I gotta go with odds there, and I called it last year with the sweep of the division, but this year it's not as easy.
I think it'll be rough too because Ben Johnson.
Oh no, Bears were sweeping them.
I don't know, man. Ben Johnson.
Who?
The traitor,
Shut up.
Fuck that motherfucker.
All right.
terrorist, the terrorist.
All right. So next game is Cowboys at home. They
Oh,
did.
dude, we are not losing to the Cowboys ever again.
I don't think so either.
We are America's team now, not them.
That is going to be a straight spanking. I have been preaching for this for years. We have been needing to play the Cowboys at home. I don't remember the last time we played Cowboys at home, honestly. Off the top of my
Yeah, but I
head,
can't
the only
wait
thing
to
I can
rub it
think
in
of is like
JR's
that
face when we beat
1992 NFC Championship game.
All right. New York Giants at home.
Win.
Is that a question?
Yeah, that's an easy one. Oh, knocked over
Party
my mic.
foul. At least it wasn't the beer.
Yeah,
How
at
you
least it was
feel
not the
about
beer.
Giants?
I think we might. You know what?
They are gonna fall.
Way early prediction: Hendon Hooker for full fourth quarter of this game.
Hendon Hooker, 180 yards passing, 60 yards rushing, 1 touchdown thrown, 1 touchdown rushing. I'm just
All
kidding.
right. Cleveland Browns at home.
Actually, no, I kind of like that. All right,
that odds bet.
same prediction.
Yep. Yeah, no, honestly, same prediction. I
I hope we get to see Shador.
Now, last 2 are going to be a little bit tougher. Well, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wait. Do you think how hilarious would it be if we end up having Myles Garrett by then?
That would be wild. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not with that contract.
No.
but at least the hopeful Zadarius Smith against Cleveland Brown. That would be a good game.
If we could have renegotiated his contract the way we wanted to, so we could literally like rent Myles Garrett for like 2 years for a Super Bowl run and then cut him or whatever, but there ain't no way we're taking that. I don't think. There's no fucking way.
No way. No way.
All right, so we're beating the Browns. We're beating the Steelers, right? Because they don't have a quarterback.
And no more Pickens.
Now, do we have? Now we
Same
have.
note,
Tampa
though, what
Bay
if
at
TJ
home
Watt-
again?
Tampa Bay's beating us.
You think Tampa Bay's being? They almost beat us last year. It was fucking close. Did they beat us last year?
They did, yes.
They did.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
they
close.
did.
Okay,
beat us
yeah,
last
yeah.
You know, I'm going the other way.
That's one of our.
Besides the potential Thanksgiving game, which I have to leave out there, I don't think we lose at home with the Detroit crowd this year. So I'm gonna go with we're gonna win against Tampa Bay at home.
Baker eats that shit up for breakfast, though.
Okay, so Connor, you got an L.
Yep.
I gotta win. Like I said, these road
Although-
games, we need to win these home games. So right now, I got us winning every single home game. That's probably not going to happen. Kind of agree with Zach there because our divisional opponents know us so well, and Ben Johnson does know us very well. I could see us definitely dropping a game to the Bears or dropping a game to Jordan Love, and then we'll go right back to our divisional opponents here because obviously we got to play the Bears, Packers, and the Vikings all way as well. I feel like we're gonna at least drop one of those 3 games
Yep.
away.
I'm saying 2 of those 3. I think we'll definitely beat Bears, and then it's a toss-up between the Packers or Vikings. I mean, we could only win one of those 3, to be honest, but I'm gonna say 2 out of those 3.
Yeah, no. Besides the potential Thanksgiving game, it's 5 out of 6 for me.
All right. So you had the one. So you're going 3 wins on the road, right? Because you took the loss for the home game.
For one, yep.
So that means 3 wins on the road.
It's a tough road schedule this year. Well, no. Yeah, 13. No, I said 12. Yep. All right. You got me. So 12, yeah.
So 3 wins on the road. So Connor and I both said at least 1 divisional loss, and you're saying 3 wins because you're going to lose 1 at home, just to verify it, so we count these up at the end.
Yep.
All right. Now here we go. Washington Commanders away, playoff rematch.
We're winning. That's our rematch
Revenge
game.
game?
That's our revenge game, baby. That is our fucking revenge.
That's
game
our
right there.
revenge game this year.
Yep.
It's going to be like the Dallas Cowboy game
Yeah,
last year.
exactly. That's exactly it, and that's exactly what's gonna happen.
I think that's going to be. I think it'll be. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that as week 1, as our week 1 game. That would be a great way to start
I'd
the
take
season and get
week
us some
1 right
momentum. I wouldn't mind that. I think we do get revenge in that game. I do think the Commanders are going to be a very good team.
Yeah.
I do think that there's a storyline there, and if you think that that team, if you don't think I'm
we
on
have-
the same, I couldn't even fucking say that
If we
because I
have
was talking
Aiden
too fast.
healthy, we're good.
Dude, if I can imagine the pregame speech from Hutch, like, I wasn't here last year. I'm gonna fucking murder. Jaden Daniels."
Yeah, no, for real though.
All right, so we're getting that revenge game now. Philadelphia Eagles.
So this is going to be my Buffalo Bills game from last year. Early season. I think we take that game no problem because they are also going to be going through a coordinator turnover that is going to affect them. So I think early on that our players are going to be able to beat them because we were able to keep more of our roster. They lost a lot of key players last year or after the Super Bowl run there. So I think early season, we're going to easily take that. Mid-season, it's going to get a little closer. But I still think we pull it. Late season, God, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to see if Saquon can stay healthy. I don't want to see that matchup later in the season because there is inevitably going to be injuries. Praise Jeebus. Hopefully we don't see 26 defensive players on IR like we did last year.
well.
But I don't want to see a healthy Saquon in December.
Hopefully, it's another good team.
At the Eagles. Like I want to call it MetLife, but that's the Giants stadium. That's not the Eagles stadium. But I don't want to see him. I agree with you. I think if we get them early in the year, possibly week 1, because Eagles versus the Lions would be a nice potential NFC championship matchup to start the season. Could see the NFL doing that. I would rather play them right then. But to your point, we did lose both our offense and defensive coordinator. They still have Vic Fangio, and they have a really young, impressive defense. So we're going to have to run the football, I think,
But
against
they
them.
lost a lot more players. That's what it comes down to early season for me. Is it's a different. You got to teach a lot more players scheme.
All right, so what are you picking? L or win?
I'm gonna go win because I think it's gonna be an early season matchup. I think they're gonna want this game probably week 2, week 3. Kind of get a nice. It's going to be a nice Thursday night matchup to really kick off football season in the beginning weeks.
I agree. I think a fully healthy Lions team can at least give their young defensive backs some trouble with all of our switching stuff. I can't wait to see what Johnny Morton does up there, what he's going to call. I'm sure he's still going to do a lot. He helped Ben Johnson build the offense. So I'm curious. I can't wait to see what happens. I could see it being a really close, good game, though. I could see it going down to the last minute and a half. Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff has the ball. They need some points, and they got to fucking put it in the end zone, All right. Well, then these last games are going to be real rough. I'm going to say them all, but we'll talk about each one. But we got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Los Angeles Rams all away. That's rough. So we'll start with the Bengals.
L.
I'm going with the win. They've put too much into offense. We've strengthened our defense. They've not really focused defense. I mean, they got their couple draft picks this year, and maybe they turn out. But what happens with Trey Hendrickson, we'll see. So I'm going to go with the W.
I'm going to go with an L. I think that there is a chance that if we have a fully healthy Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, even if we are able to push Burrow off his spot, he can
go off for 300 combined.
I could see this game being more like the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills game from last year, where we see Jared Goff and fucking Joe Burrow both throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, and we lose the game 56-51 or something crazy like that. And we're like, how the fuck? Like, that was an amazing game, but what the fuck? And Jamar Chase has 200 yards or whatever. Fucking A. I do not want to see that happen.
Yeah,
do not, either. But I think that could happen. All right. Baltimore Ravens.
L.
Last time we played them, they didn't have fucking Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
L.
We're done for.
Now, I would like to see a
gonna
much
be a lot
more
close.
competitive game. That was even Jared Goff.
I would love this to be our revenge game, but it's going to be the Commanders game, that is.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I would love this to be our revenge game, but we struggle way too much in the past against mobile QBs, and for Colin Shepard, a first-year defensive coordinator, to go up against Lamar Jackson of all motherfucking people.
And
Hell.
Anzalone does a good job covering tight ends, but that is not a fucking tight end. That's a wide receiver 1 running with the football. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Kansas City Chiefs. To make it to your point, as much as we want to make that Ravens game a payback, if you think that the Kansas City Chiefs, when Chris Jones was holding out and Travis Kelce was hurt, don't want to fucking beat us after the last time we beat them and we just barely beat them.
And here's my prediction: this is the Christmas Day game, and that we are going to get fucked over in the fourth quarter by a ref whistle.
I was just about to say, if they don't have 16 players on the field playing for them at all times, then we're winning.
Yeah, I don't think we're winning that game. So you're saying it's a win?
Yeah,
I don't think we're winning that one.
So I'm going loss.
Okay.
Because the refs are on their side.
Yeah,
I do think that
there's
no way the NFL isn't considering Detroit Lions for Chiefs and Christmas Day. And like they said, they're going to rotate it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs get it again. Roger Goodell didn't say if.
The Lions are just going to be so pissed off at them and just not even give the refs a chance to even.
You said
change
win, Connor?
We're taking that dub, baby.
All right. I said L. And then the Los Angeles Rams. So Stafford, who is 0 for 2 right now, right? He hasn't beat the Lions since
at Detroit. He is 0 for 2.
Oh, we did lose once to them in LA once. Okay. Think it's an L?
Yep.
Bro, they gave the Eagles that work.
It is an L.
Yes, they've given a lot of great teams last year that fucking work. And this is their revenge game on Detroit times 2, I think.
Because, I think it was Goff's. It was the first year of the trade. We went to L.A., didn't we?
Oh, their first year was bad. Yeah, I
And we
can't remember.
lost.
I'd have to look that
Yes.
shit up.
Yep. No, you're right.
So it was.
And then we beat them in the playoffs, and then they
Yes.
came back last year, and we beat them again.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna take the L too. I think Stafford probably be pretty annoyed there.
It's throwing 420.
So yeah, we'll see. But
All right.
a solid 12.
So the final projections. We don't have the schedule and what order it is. We'll have to try this exercise again for sure once we know the schedule. Can't wait for the schedule release. I hope the LA Chargers do another anime themed schedule
Dude, I
release because
can't
that
wait
was
for those
fucking
videos.
dope as
It's
fuck.
kind of crazy how the actual schedule will affect your opinion on what will
Oh,
be
yeah.
a win and loss.
Oh, for
like who
sure.
we play early and who we don't.
Yeah. Oh,
You wouldn't
100%.
think about it. You would just look at the be like, oh, this team we're gonna lose against them. That's how the classic Detroit team was. But
Well, didn't the fucking Chiefs play 3 games in 13 days because of the Christmas Day thing? So can you
Yep.
imagine
No,
they
that
were
was-
like, oh, the Lions played the Ravens on Monday night, and then
that was us. We played 3 games in 13 days.
I think the Chiefs did too, though.
We did last year, I think.
Well, yeah, but so like,
no, I
if we
think
had
that was 2 years ago when we opened up against the Chiefs because we did the Chiefs game on Thursday, did the next Thursday game, and then a Saturday game. No, I could be wrong about that.
yeah, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. But you know what I mean. Either way, like
Oh, it
you're
was
saying,
Thursday,
If you end
Sunday,
up playing
Thursday.
a Thursday game,
Yeah.
and then you have to play another, like I said, they play Thursday, and then you're playing on Christmas Day, and then you're playing on like a Saturday
I
or
mean,
something.
this was
like,
an older article, but the Detroit Lions are playing three games in a 12-day span in December.
yeah, so that would have
last
that was us, yeah. So that, like you said, that'll play a huge factor if you're. That's a lot of wear and tear on the body for
yeah.
sure. But Connor is as the lowest at 11-6, and then I'm at 12-5, and Zach's at 13-4. So even I was a little bit higher than I thought. I thought I was going to be closer to 11. I probably could have given one of those division games back to one of those guys, but
I told you I'm gonna ride a little higher, but deep down right now it's solidly 12. We signed Zadarius. I'm jumping up to 14, and we'll go from there.
I won't be surprised if we play the Ravens super close and we lose by a touchdown, and it happens with the Chiefs, and then we end up as a wild card and we don't win the division and we win 10 games or whatever. The amount of the chips on everybody's shoulders, you know what I mean, from losing those close games
yeah.
against really, really,
Really
good
good
teams
teams,
is only going to promote, maybe us having a really hard strength of schedule will be a great way to get us ready for the playoffs, especially having one of the tougher divisions. That would be wild if everyone's looking at potentially being in the playoffs. So then, like, we play the Packers in week 14, and then we play the Bears, and then we play one of those random other games.
Well,
and then
like
last week
year, how the last 2-3 games of the season were pretty crucial and big with how playoff worked out.
right.
for
We
us.
played the Vikings last week of the
One of the
season.
teams went from either
Yeah, we
getting a
were
bye
both tied at
to
14, and one of us went to the number 1 team in the NFC, and the other one went to a wild card team, and had to play a road
had to
game.
play
That's fucking wild.
It's ridiculous.
That could definitely happen again.
See what
And
you
now
did? That's
can you
wild there.
imagine-
Wild card, huh?
All 4 teams getting in at like 9-8 and 10-7.
Yeah, in the NFC, I think
That would be crazy. Record setting right there.
I can't wait to see how everything unfolds. Like, it'll be wild to see, especially as training camp goes and the last few acquisitions are coming in together, and we're start to see teams like, oh, maybe the Houston Texans didn't just fuck up by trading all their offensive linemen away. Maybe they're going to be all right. Or like, the first preseason game and fucking C.J. Stroud gets sacked on the first play, and you're like, why did you trade Larry Tunsil? That was stupid.
That was dumb.
You just paid him last year. Like, oh my God, the Texans are going to be terrible. And then the Colts end up being the best team in the AFC South or something. Who knows? Fucking the Eagles might not even win their division. The Commanders could, because they haven't had the same division back-to-back winner for like 15 straight years or something.
Damn.
Like, if it's on track, it should happen again.
Yeah.
If Saquon stays healthy, though, I don't think that. They're just going to give him the football.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts
He's just gonna hurdle people backwards.
We'll see.
That's why I can't even believe that's even in fucking Madden. That's super cool.
Well, crazy fact before we get out of here, because Erza is going off. But it made me think of it when we were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier. Do you guys see that the record they set in the draft this year? They now hold the lightest and heaviest player in NFL history.
Lightest from Oregon, heaviest from Florida.
They drafted Tez Johnson, a wide receiver from Oregon, who is 5'10", 154 pounds. And then they signed free agent Desmond Watson from Florida, who is currently 437 pounds, but at his pro day was 464 pounds.
That's a big boy.
He did say that he has an eating problem and he's like addicted to food, which aren't we all?
Hey, I feel you, dog. I feel you.
That's a big boy. He got to get a touchdown in the fucking bowl game too.
Dude, big boy tutties are the best tutties.
Well, thank you all for hanging out with us and listening to us go through the strength of schedule. Can't wait to get to the schedule release next week for the NFL. I hope to see some awesome different videos from all the different PR departments and all the different teams. Like I said, the San Diego Chargers usually win. So
Tigers?
Shut up. I don't know. Whatever. All right, let's get out of here.
Conor McGregor.
McDavid?
McJesus.
I fucking hate you guys. All right, this has been Crossfaded Sports. Buggerhead Zach, Connor the Condor, Banny with the Fanny. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Google us for all your amazing sports journalism needs. And as always, everybody love everybody.
Yelly.
Slay King, slay.
There. We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows. Football.